Hello, frugal friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing our weekly word. We are going to look at Luke 2:41. The boy Jesus at the temple. Every year, his parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up to the feast according to the custom. After the feast was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. But they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for days. Then they began looking for him among his relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. So I would love to know everything I could about Jesus. They don't really talk a lot about him as a boy. I was reading an article and they were saying, the question was, when do you think Jesus knew he was God's son? And so, someone answered and said, well, I think it was when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist and God said, "This is my son whom I'm well pleased." But I kind of don't think that was when it was, because I think God was more saying that to the people and telling them that this was his son. He was making it known to them. I think Jesus knew a long time before that. I'm not sure when he knew it, but I mean, I believe that he just, God, the angels probably spoke to him and told him. I don't know how I knew about God, but I knew about him. I remember that. I used to talk to God when I was a child, and I love nature, and I would climb all the way to the top of a tree and talk to God and get as high as I could and talk to him. And so I'm sure Jesus knew way before he was baptized that God was his father. And I love it when he says, didn't you know where I'd be? I'd be in my father's house. So, yes, we can all be in our father's house. If we go to church or if we just, in our own home, if we have a godly home, if we try to have a godly home, a peaceful home, a sanctuary, and spend time with the Lord, then we are in our father's house. And so Jesus grew up. He had favor with men and, of course, with God, his father. And he did the things that he was supposed to do. But, he wanted to learn and know, too. He wanted to get all the knowledge he could. And that showed his maturity, in God. And so I want to know all I can about God and Jesus. So I'm going to keep on reading and studying this Bible with you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. And as always, be blessed.